Genocide. The term genocide was invented by Polish Jewish legal scholar Raphael Lemkin in 1944. The word comes from the Greek root genos, which means birth, race, stock, or kind, and the Latin citium, meaning cutting or killing. This word has sadly come to define a number of events in our world's history. The Rwandan genocide has been called by some the preventable genocide, one in which outside powers were getting news of early in the timeline, but where no definitive action was taken. The genocide has a long history, and although it started in 1994, the tension between the two ethnic groups of the Hutus and the Tutsis had been brewing for many years. Here we see a photograph taken by James Nachtwey in 1994 of a Hutu man mutilated by the Hutu militia. Tutsis had been in control of the Rwandan monarchy before the republic was established in the 1960s, and thus Hutus had looked down upon Tutsis as an aristocratic group. The tensions between the two groups only heightened with the 1990 civil war between the Rwandan Patriotic Front, mostly comprised of Tutsis, who opposed the existing Hutu regime. Racial and ethnic tensions were rising rapidly as the radio streams were filled with hate propaganda against Tutsis. The catalyst of the massacres was the assassination of Hutu and then President of Rwanda, Juvenal Habyarimana, in 1994. The man seen in this picture is a Hutu who is believed to have sympathized with the Tutsi minority during the killings. There are many Hutus like this man who were killed by the Hutu militia. Why did this happen? The answer is in the event itself. Throughout the years, we have come to understand that genocide knows no boundaries. Just as Hitler destroyed anyone in his path during World War II and the Holocaust, the Hutu militia was a violent group that would stop at nothing to achieve its goals, even if it meant going against other Hutus. In the eyes of this Hutu man, we see both fear and pain. The photograph was taken in 1994 at the start of the killings in Rwanda, and he expresses his pain to photographer James Nachtwey to show what happened to him, and also to show what happened to many others like him. The man in the picture shows what seem to be machete wounds that run down his scalp and face. In just 100 days, about 800,000 Tutsis and almost 1 million Rwandans were slaughtered. In a rapid succession, the hate and violence in Rwanda spread to the whole country. Most of the victims were killed in their villages or in towns, often by their own neighbors and fellow villagers. What causes people to turn against their own neighbors, who they had been living with peacefully for years? And why has there come to be a characteristic passivity of countries that can do things to stop genocide? These are questions we constantly ask ourselves. We may never know how genocide works and how people are driven to such extents of evil so frighteningly fast, but only that it continues to happen. What we must realize is the ability to stop them as they are occurring. Rwanda certainly needed more help than it received, and just as the Armenians were massacred as countries looked on idly during World War I, Darfur continues to need all the help it can get. We say we study history to learn from its important lessons, but it still seems as though we have not learned enough from some of the horrific events in our world's past.